Hi, I'm historian Justin Vipperman, and today I want to share with you the story of Leroy Wilkins. Leroy Wilkins was a 30-year-old black man living in Rogerson, Idaho, in Twin Falls County, out near the Nevada border. Leroy Wilkins lived there with his mother, Cornelia White, which I hope to share her story later on. This story, though, of Leroy Wilkins is fascinating to me. He's a hog farmer. They live out at Rogerson in a small home. They'd gotten into some trouble in the past due to racial issues living out there with other white families. Uh, Leroy goes in to sell some hogs in Twin Falls. On his way back, he stops at a bar and has a few drinks and then heads out. He gets out to his house or near his home around 1 o'clock when he sees that one of his neighbors' houses is on fire. Mrs. Diffendorfer had some issues with Leroy in the past, specifically about his hogs getting out and rummaging through her yard. However, he'd had some issues with her claiming a relationship earlier, actually, in 1940. So by June 24th of 1940, Leroy's a little leery about what she's got in store. So as he sees that her house is on fire, she hops the fence. He says, "Look, is there anything I can do?" She says, "Well, will you help me out?" And he says, "I'll help you out, but if you will sign a piece of paper saying that you're coming with me on your own accord, it's your own consent here." She argues with him for a moment, but then she reluctantly signs a paper saying, just a piece of paper saying that she's going with him. As they drive back to Leroy's house, she tells him that her husband and brother-in-law were both in the home, and she thinks that they have died in the fire. The next morning, however, the husband and the brother-in-law come to Leroy's house, very angry, find Mrs. Diffendorfer there, and she claims that Leroy had taken her and had raped her, as well as she posits that the fire was started by Leroy Wilkins. The police show up, they take Leroy into custody, and take him to jail in Twin Falls. The next day, Cornelia White, or Leroy and Cornelia White's home, is burned to the ground under mysterious circumstances. Uh, Leroy is in jail for from June until September when his trial begins. There's this whole issue about the public defender not wanting to defend him because he's black. They end up getting an NAACP lawyer out of Salt Lake who comes up and gives and defends him. However, the Judge Sweeley, does not want an NAACP lawyer in Twin Falls, and he tries multiple times to get him off and can't. In the end, the NAACP lawyer from Salt Lake does defend Leroy Wilkins. A jury is made up of all white farmers in Twin Falls County, which is not abnormal, given 1940, right? The population in 1940. The trial begins, and they end up very quickly throwing out the arson. There's no evidence, they say, of the arson, but the rape, they've got Mrs. Diffendorfer, who says that it was rape. Except by all accounts, I can't find that there was any sexual issues whatsoever. Even consent. There was nothing going on, according to Leroy Wilkins. The trial goes on for a couple of weeks. It comes down to, was there a light in the dome light in the car for her to be able to sign this piece of paper? They take the jury out. They take it to an auto body shop where they look at the vehicle. The auto body owner is then brought in. He has to testify. He says, "Look, the light was working. It works now. I don't know if it was working on the night in question." However, at that point when they take the jury out and when they bring the jury back, the note that she had written goes missing. And Leroy is convicted of rape and sentenced to 14 years in the Idaho State Penitentiary. Leroy is sent up there in October, and we think that the story is done. There's a lot of newspaper articles in the Times News talking about how great it is that we could come to this, we could get justice for Mrs. Diffendorfer. However, in January of 1941, the governor and the Parole and Pardon Board decide to pardon Leroy Wilkins. Leroy Wilkins is pardoned because there is no evidence, according to the governor and the Pardon Board, there's no evidence that a rape was committed. And because Cornelia White had spent quite a bit of time lobbying in her son's defense, saying that she needed him if she was going to live. The judge here in Twin Falls is irate. He writes a letter to the Twin Falls or the Times News and says that he is not happy about this going on, and that the jury was made up of honorable men. Now, although honorable men can mean a lot of things, I think in this case it means that he believed that these white men were doing what they were asked to do in carrying out justice. However, there had been some other issues, which I'll talk about later, in regards to courts in the Magic Valley. And so the governor was kind of fed up with some of this. However, he does decide that he is going to pardon Leroy Wilkins with one caveat, and that is that Leroy Wilkins is exiled from Twin Falls County. At the bottom of his pardon paperwork, it is typed, which is very interesting. It's a form letter, but at the very bottom there's a typed sentence that says Leroy Wilkins cannot enter Twin Falls County again. Leroy Wilkins comes back to Twin, packs up all of his stuff and his mother, and they move to Boise in January of 1941, where they live out their life. One interesting story that I love as an aside about Leroy Wilkins: he gets married that year to a young black woman in Boise. They're married for 3 years. However, in the second year of marriage, Joe Louis comes to town, the boxer, the African-American boxer, Joe Louis, for a USO thing that he's doing in Mountain Home. They do this party in Boise, and Leroy Wilkins' wife dances with Joe Louis, and then after that, it's you're no Joe Louis. And Leroy Wilkins finally gets frustrated and divorces her after 3 years. And in the divorce decree, which is still on the records today, Leroy says that he's divorcing her because he's no Joe Louis. So the only place in the country where Joe Louis is part of a divorce decree due to dancing with someone's wife. Anyway, fascinating story, and I love this idea of being exiled from Twin Falls. We see some of this stuff going on around the country, but very rarely do we get to see that this stuff is happening in our own backyard. I hope you find this interesting. If you do like this video, follow me for more history pieces. This month I'll be dropping videos every Thursday about Black history, and then from there on out it'll be every other Thursday throughout the rest of the year, talking about different things. I'd love to hear what you're looking to hear in the Magic Valley, different historical pieces that I could provide for you as we go throughout the year. So give me a comment, give me a like, and we'll go from there. I hope you have a great day.